Our mission at Asia Society since our founding is to build bridges and navigate shared futures, which has become increasingly challenging in this state of the world. Over 25 years, through our events and expert speakers, we've covered the critical issues facing the US and Asia and headline news out of all of the diverse regions in the world. You'll hear next about where we're headed and our future from our chair, Gary Rieschel.
Mayor Breed, thank you very much. I think she has moved out, but I want to thank the mayor for being here and for announcing APEC. That's clearly something for this city and this region to look forward to, and that'll be a wonderful experience for all of it. Also, 25 years. I'm going to say very brief comments about the past, but I want to thank Chung Moon Lee and Jack Wadsworth and the others for actually launching this. It's unusual to find founders that every year in December they would get a note from the executive director basically saying how much short they were on the budget. And then they would just write a check. And so, fortunately, we're at the time in the organization where we don't have to do that anymore. And that's largely a tribute to the work that they did, what Ken Wilcox did, and now what Margaret and her team are doing. And I want to honor Margaret and the team by thanking them for putting this evening together, because it's spectacular. So thank you. So now, let's look ahead a little bit. So one of the things we're announcing tonight, there'll be a press release that went out this afternoon, is that we are establishing a center in Seattle, Washington. And the way that that center is being established, it's the largest sponsored center in the history of the Asia Society. So it'll have $5 million for 5 years committed to the launch of that center. And the money is coming primarily from Microsoft, which will have a representative on our board named Tom Robertson, and from Bill Gates. I don't know how many of you have ever tried to raise money from Bill Gates. It's a pain in the ass. And a large part of this is due to Kevin Rudd establishing the idea of a policy institute on the West Coast and really bringing together the policy world, the arts and culture world, and the technology world. And Bill is a big believer in that. And Brad Smith from Microsoft, on the Microsoft side, was really the one who drove this. So we're going to have excellent sponsorship from them, excellent engagement from them. We also were very fortunate in picking up an organization that was in Washington already, the Washington State China Resource Council. So Nora Courtyard, who is the executive director of that, is here tonight. And Man Wang, who was running their programs, will be taking that role over, also working for Margaret in Seattle. So we're starting from a very good base in Seattle. And so we look forward to where that's going to take us in the future. So there's also 2 major new hires within the Asia Society Global. We're clearly looking for a new head to replace Kevin Rudd. You cannot replace Kevin Rudd. You can follow Kevin Rudd, but you're not going to replace Kevin Rudd. And so that search is ongoing. And perhaps more interestingly in the short term is a new head of the arts and sciences. That's a part of the Asia Society that clearly on the West Coast we're going to have an opportunity to celebrate in a major way. And so that search is also, and that is ongoing, and that search should complete in the not too distant future. But perhaps most importantly, and why I hope all of you are here this evening, besides dinner in a beautiful place, is there's never been a more important time for the mission of the Asia Society. And there's never been a time when the Asia Society was better positioned to take advantage of that mission. The mission is to foster understanding between the peoples of Asia and the United States. And when you read the paper every day, you read your emails every day, you realize how fraught many of those relationships are today. So it's going to be a time for discussion. It will certainly be a time for debate. It's going to be a major time for engagement. But perhaps most importantly, it's a time to listen. There's way too many people talking and not actually right now too, but there's way too many people talking in the political world that really don't understand many of the drivers from technology and society that they're actually going to have to deal with in the future. So listening is a skill we're going to have to learn to acquire again. I think a very famous saying, the problems are behind us, the solutions are all ahead of us. And we're going to have to stay focused on finding those solutions.